Did the disciples keep Sunday? The truth might surprise you. If the first Christians worshipped on Sunday, why doesn't the Bible say so? Most churches today teach that after Jesus' resurrection, the disciples began worshipping on Sunday. It's assumed that Sunday became the Lord's Day and replaced the Sabbath. But here's the shocking truth. There is not a single verse in the Bible that says the disciples kept Sunday holy. None. Zero. So if the disciples didn't keep Sunday, what day did they observe? Let's dive into scripture and history and challenge every skeptic and believer to disprove these facts. Step 1. Jesus never changed the Sabbath. Matthew 5:17-18. Think not that I am come to destroy the law, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law. Luke 4:16. As his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. Jesus kept the seventh-day Sabbath, not Sunday. He called himself Lord of the Sabbath, Mark chapter 2:28, not Lord of Sunday. And he never gave a single command to change the day of worship. Step 2. The disciples continued keeping the Sabbath. After Jesus' resurrection, the disciples continued to honor the seventh-day Sabbath, Acts 13:42-44. Paul preached on the Sabbath, and the Gentiles begged to hear more the next Sabbath, Acts 17:2. As his manner was, Paul taught in the synagogue every Sabbath. Acts 18:4. Paul reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded both Jews and Greeks. These were not one-time events. They were customs, habits, and the clear pattern of early Christian worship. Step 3. The Bible mentions the first day, but not as holy. Yes, the Bible does mention the first day of the week, but not as a day of worship or rest. Here are the facts. Matthew 28:1, Mark 16:1-2, Luke 24:1, John 20:1. These verses simply record that the women went to the tomb early on the first day of the week. There is no command to worship, no mention of a holy convocation, just a historical detail. Acts 27. Upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread. This was a one-time gathering held at night, Avituals 8, likely because Paul was leaving the next day. There is no command here to keep Sunday holy. 1 Corinthians 16:1-2. Paul instructs believers to set aside money on the first day at home, not at church. Again, no worship service, no Sabbath replacement. If Sunday was truly the new Sabbath, wouldn't the Bible say so, clearly and repeatedly? But it doesn't. Step 4. History shows the change came later. The disciples never kept Sunday. So where did the shift come from? Constantine's Sunday law, 321 AD. On the venerable day of the sun, let the magistrates and people rest. This was the first legal command to keep Sunday, not from the Bible, but from a Roman emperor. Catholic Church's own words. Sunday is our mark of authority. The Church is above the Bible. Catholic Record, 1923. They openly admit they changed the day of worship. Step 5. Challenge to skeptics and believers. If the disciples truly kept Sunday, then show one verse where they were commanded to do so. Show one example where Sunday is called holy or the Lord's Day. Show one place where the seventh-day Sabbath was abolished. You won't find it, because the disciples didn't keep Sunday. They honored the Sabbath just as Jesus did. So the real question is, will you follow the example of Christ and his disciples, or the traditions of man?